I mean, a lot of people have things twisted nowadays. They think just because you can afford something, that makes you wealthy or rich or whatever. Being able to afford something is not the same as being wealthy. Let me put it to you a different way. Let's go with 60%. If 60% of your expenses can be paid outright to cover up all your bills, and only take 60% of your income, you're probably wealthy or in a good spot. Now, let me move that a little bit further because a whole bunch of you think you're in a good place. That 60%, what you're allowed there, is you're allowed an interest rate of 10%. After 10%, you're screwed. Screwed. You're probably never going to pay that back. Just how compounding interest works. You're going to be so far behind once you get past 10% that it's going to be a nightmare. So we're not going to count loans that are above 60% or above. Don't edit it. Above 10%. Those loans are you're already disqualified. Those loans need to be paid back first, before that 60%. Those are screwed up loans. You screwed up. You got a 20% credit card, something like that. Those got to be paid back before you can even consider the 60%. What goes towards that 60%? Food, housing, rent or mortgage, whatever. Hopefully you're not paying more than 10% on a mortgage. General car expenses, not the payment. Once again, hopefully you're not paying more than 10% on a car payment. Insurance and all the other fun stuff. Shouldn't come more than 60%. If you're beyond 60% of your income, I don't care how you factor it. Doesn't really matter. You can factor it weekly, monthly, yearly, whatever. However you come up with that number, 60%. If you're above that, and a lot of people are, just because of the 10% thing, you are living above your means. Way above your means. A lot of people are way above their means. A lot of people are pushing, a lot of people are way over 100%. They're living on debt. And they're living on that 20% debt that I told you really can't get out of. The math doesn't math. The amount of time it's going to take you to get out of that 20%, you're in a bad place. That should be your major focus. Now, I don't come just criticizing. Okay, you're living above your means. You're living way above your means. Way above your means. So, how do you live below your means? Well, first step, stop being so damn entitled. Everybody thinks they need a single person for an apartment. One person per apartment. One family per apartment. Whatever. No, bro. No. You want to bundle that up. How do you cut your rent in half? You get a roommate. How do you cut it in a quarter? You get 3 roommates. Talk with the landlord. They'll probably be okay with it. One person screwing up, losing their job versus 4 people screwing up, losing their job. Might have a little bit of flexibility there. Might have a little bit of cushion, you know? Now, that could cause issues. I'm not saying that couldn't cause issues. But instead of 1 stream of income, now you have 4 streams of income to cover everybody a little bit, potentially, depending on how y'all get along. That's another thing. I'm not saying everybody's going to get along. You put 4 families in a house meant for, in like a 2,000 square foot house, you put, let's say 15 people in a house that's 2,000 square feet, you're going to have issues. But you're going to be in a better place. You're going to be paying a quarter of what the neighbor is. All right? And by doing that, you could take the excess, if you're smart. A lot of us aren't smart. But you could take the excess and throw that towards that 20% debt to hopefully pay that back. You know, maybe you do something else, whatever. Maybe that 75% that you're now paying, 50%, 75%, depending on how the hell y'all do it, maybe that can actually go towards something else. And like I'm saying, gotta talk with your landlord. Gotta make things work. It's hard to be out here by yourself. I admit it. It's hard to be out here by yourself. You gotta have a hustle. You gotta have a plan. You gotta know what you're doing. Because if you don't, lose your job tomorrow, what you going to do? You got 1 income. Let's say you're not, no side hustle, no nothing. You got 1 income. Lose your job tomorrow, what you going to do? You got 1 string holding you up. One rope. And that rope just got cut. You want to have a whole bunch of ropes. You want to have this rope, a backup rope, another rope behind that. Somebody up there cutting ropes, you're like, okay, you know, I'm coming for you, you know. Gonna kick your butt when I get up there, kind of deal. But you got to get up there first. A lot of people living so far below their, above their means. Everybody be knocking like homeless people and van life and, man, I knew people, they lived in a tent. Just because they could. They loved it. They loved doing camping, but they would do it like a couple days a week. They would just do it. You know, not a money thing, just like living in a tent. I mean, they still did the showers and everything else, but they lived in a tent. It worked for them. A lot of people living in a van. I ain't got no problem with that. As long as you clean about it, that I got a problem with. But as long as you clean about it, you responsible about it, you respectful about it, you know, I got no problem with that. Do what you got to do. But everybody be looking down on that guy in the van. Guy in the van's not spending $2,500 in rent. Maybe he's spending $500 to run that van a month. Tiny houses. Everybody be downing on tiny houses and campers and, you know, mobile homes. Everybody downing on all this stuff. It's like, they got a damn plan. Pay off the thing and then you're running around. Boats too. Somebody living in the marina. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Live in that marina. Make you, you know, drive your motorcycle to work. Live in that marina. Live in the airport hangar. Hell. Over-road truck driver for 7 years. I had my folks getting a mail in case I got just in case I got a jury summons. That's about the only reason. Because all my bills were paid and everything else. But in case you get a jury summons, you know, you want to make sure that that's taken care of. But now you got the UPS mail, where it takes a little photo of everything comes through and you can see, you know, oh crap, you know, hopefully catch that, kind of deal. I mean, but then you just got to call whatever and be like, yo, I'm 8 states over. I can't make it there in 2 days or whatever, simple as that. Or you send it. I don't even know. But it's one of those deals where set something up. Maybe have somebody watch your mail for you. You pay them something crazy or their family member or whatever, And there you go. Your mail's covered. But, over the road truck driving. I'm not saying it pays amazing. It pays good. If you're smart about it, you can make some money. But rent, I mean, depending on how much you come home, can't do it without family. I wouldn't do it with family. I'd be divorced so dang fast. I came home like 5 days a year. Basically holiday stuff. Living out of the truck, basically, man. I had a scanner. I had a fax machine. I had a little Wi-Fi, a little Verizon wireless little thing about that big, little Wi-Fi thing. I was running all this stuff off of it, watching my movies, and sending in my bills. I didn't even have to go inside the thing. I would fax my bills right to the thing. Right in the passenger seat. Had all that crap in the passenger seat. Little scanner that scanned everything. Scanner, printer, all 3-in-1 or whatever the hell it is. And then a simple laptop. I was set up. Had a little office in the passenger seat of my semi-truck. I could send all those bills right over to him. And then basically I lived out of sleeper for like 7 years. You want to know how you can do it? There you go. Can't do that with a family though. I mean, I don't recommend it. I don't recommend the van life thing with a family. I'm sorry, But you know what? The multi-family thing in one house, that's not new. That's somehow been looked down upon the last 15 years, I'm guessing. So I remember it wasn't a big deal in I don't think it was a big deal in even 2000, 2005. I don't think it was a big deal. You had 3 or 4 people living in a house. As long as the landlord's okay with it, as long as the insurance company's okay with it, And maybe you can't have everything. Maybe you can't have pets. I mean, I wouldn't want 3 families with 7 dogs or cats or whatever. I'm sorry. You're not going to tear my carpet up, or I'm tearing my carpet up at that plate at the end of the whatever, People will be living out of hotels. What y'all doing? I mean, I'm not looking down upon it, but I'm like, $800 for a hotel a month versus splitting the rent, and then you're paying $600. A lot of people will be living so far above their means. A lot of people will be so far behind the 8 ball. You have people that are so far into the red. So far into the red. It's not even funny, man. You always think about a doctor making tons of money. The doctor's probably got $250,000 out of the gate in debt. And that's student loan debt. Now, hopefully, I don't even know what it is. I didn't play that game. But I don't think that's above 10%. I think that's closer to 6 or 7. Depending on how much they pay and how much they pay back and what they signed on the dotted contract and all that. I think it's 6 or 7. That's below 10%. That's something you could potentially pay off. I don't know if you got any tax deductions in there either. Maybe you got a tax deduction. If you pay all your payments on one time, you get one. Wouldn't that be great? You pay all your payments for the year on time, and you get one payment free, deducted. There's your incentive, being a good boy or girl. You get one payment. How about that? Throw that out there. I would love that. I'd pay for that as a taxpayer. Be a good boy or girl and pay your student loans, 52 of them a year, and you get number 53 is paid off. I mean, 54 is coming, but you got one free one a year. A little credit for being a good boy or girl. But yeah, doctor, $250,000 in debt. Probably, let's go with 25. 25 years old, $250,000 in debt. I'm probably being generous there. Let's say 27. Yeah, 27. $250,000 in debt. And everybody's like, well, they're going to make tons of money. Yeah, but you got that creep coming up. You got that lifestyle creep. Not the other creep. I don't know what kind of doctor they are. But it's one of those deals. It's got that lifestyle creep. Doctor making $150,000 a year probably doesn't want to be driving a Honda. I would, but I don't make $150 a year. Everybody's going to expect, oh man, you ought to be driving that C-Class or whatever. You know, you ought to be driving that luxury car. You're a doctor. You do this and that and the other thing. Same thing with like a CEO. Not a CEO. Let's go down a couple tiers. Executive. Executive, making, let's go with 110 again. Let's go with 110 this time. Make it 110. His employee probably drives a nicer car than him, if he's smart. That CEO is probably driving a 15-year-old car. That employee probably has a 2 or 3-year-old car. Everybody be flipped on this whole thing. Everybody be flipped. How it's supposed to work. And you know what? That car, that employee driving, is probably dang 20%. It's a forever you never getting out of it. Or you're going to pay it twice. It's not New York, baby. You don't want to be paying it twice. You got to lower your means. You got to lower your standards. The prices, or your wages aren't going up. Sure as hell ain't going up anything impressive. So how are you going to... The best way to make more money is to save more money. $1 spent... Hold on, I'm sorry. It's easier to save $1 than it is to make $1. Now take that a step further. You pay taxes to make that $1. Let's say 30% to make that $1 in taxes. So when you don't spend that $1, you just save 30%. Remember that 20% I was talking about that you wouldn't, that's a nightmare to pay back? There you go. How are you going to save more money? How are you going to live below your means? You always hear about these great actors or actresses. They grew up in slums. And like, my parents are amazing, all right? I'm not even playing that game. My parents were amazing. We were thrifty. But they were good and all that. But that's the thing. I don't care where you're at. I don't care how good you think things are. It can be taken away tomorrow. But being smart and being thrifty and learning to live below where you're at, it's going to save you. Save you so many headaches. You know, they're going to go out right now and buy a new car. If I wanted a piece of crap that they got out selling now, you know, they're going to go out and get a new car. I can get a new car tomorrow. That's not the point. It's not about what you can get. It's about what you can justify. I can't justify even like 40 grand. I can't justify it. When I could go out and buy one for like 5 or 6 that'll probably last just as long, if not longer. Sure, it's rusted. Sure, it's got some dents. The kid in the parking lot slams his door into my car. I'm not going to care. You know, one of those deals. They slam the mom might kick his butt. Can't help you there, kid. But I'm not going to freak out about my paint. My paint's been dented and damaged when I bought the dang thing. I live in Michigan. The cars rust through in like 10 years. I'm more worried about the unibody falling apart at that point. You know? You go down a little bit, go down like 200 or 300 miles. You grab a car from there, you bring it up north, mid-Michigan, and you drive it around for 10 years. Play around with it a little bit. Make sure it has a good unibody. If it doesn't, you break out the welder, you fix that unibody, and you drive the heck out of it. Because it'll probably you'll probably buy it like 140,000 miles and sell it at like 200 when the transmission finally goes, and you'll probably make half your money back when you go ahead and sell it or part it out or whatever, however the heck, whatever access you got. But you'll probably make money on the back end. You buy a car for, let's say, $5,000, you drive it for 5 years. That's $1,000 a year, and then you sell it for $500. Let's be generous. You scrap it for $200. You got your money back, and good chance you also saved on insurance because you don't care about this piece of crap. I told my insurance company, I was like, what's the highest deductible I can get? $2,000 deal. Give me $2,000 deductible. Sounds stupid, doesn't it? Hell no. Cars are like $4,000 or $5,000. If somebody hits me, or if I put one in a tree, I've been in a couple car accidents. I'll survive. I ain't worried about it. Car's junk. I'll probably make more money parting out the car than they ever would cut me a check. And I ain't gonna make no claim. I don't make no insurance claim. It's gonna be as simple as this, smack a tree. Call somebody out there, be like, yo, I smacked a tree. I don't know. I don't drink or drive or any of that fun stuff. I don't condone it. But whatever. You're free or whatever. But it's one of those deals where it's like, stuff happens. Me and the tree had an argument. There wasn't anybody else involved. Maybe I slid off the road and slammed the 3/4 panel, and the trunk's now sitting over here. Yeah, you call up the tow truck guy and be like, yeah, I smashed one. I need you to come out. Hold on, let me get my GPS. Okay, I'm about half a mile down the road here. I need you to grab me, bring me back to the house, and then I just tear the car apart. Simple as that. If somebody else is involved, I just gotta get people involved. It's me and the tree. We're on good terms. I think we understand each other as far as claims go. But simple as that. You buy a cheap car, cheap runner. You give me a choice between a winter beater and a summer beater. I'm taking the summer beater every single time. Why? Because I walked when it's 5 below. And I walked when it's 50 degrees. Guess which one I'd rather do? I'll throw 90 degrees out there. I'll take 90 degrees over 5 below. 5 below ain't no joke. When there's a wind chill, especially if you just dressed like this, you jumped in, you were gonna go to work or something, and then you went into a ditch or something for whatever reason. Maybe you lost cell phone reception or whatever, or maybe you got into a big accident and you managed to roll the thing down a back road or something like that, and I don't know where my cell phone is. I don't know where my cell phone is. There's probably nobody coming around for 6 or 8 hours. I'm walking to somebody's house, bro. I'm walking through somebody's house, and I'd much rather do that in the summertime than the wintertime. Simple as that. So, summer beater versus winter beater, summer beater. I don't care what people think. And a lot of people still do. They think, I want the best of the best. I want the newest, yada yada, whatever. I want the PlayStation 6 because it just came out. I want the new VR. I want the new 3D glasses because they just came out. I want this. And they don't even do the research. Man, that car is using the same engine that they used in their last dang car. And you know what? That thing had nothing but problems. Man, they still doing recalls in that. They be hushing about those recalls they doing in the last one. And they were dumb enough to put the same damn engine in this one. You want this thing? I don't want this thing. People would be doing the whole Klarna and all that stuff. And I get it. Everybody broke. This costs more than that. But the big deal is that I see. You know where you need to spend. You know what you need to spend money on. And you know what you don't need to spend money on. Alright? And if you want something, buy used. Buy vintage. I'm a fan of vintage. Where's my damn fan at? That fan's going to probably outlast me. It's from like 1960 or something. One of those cool old ones that like does the rotary and everything else. Thing's a damn champ. Like, I got all kinds of stuff. About half stuff in my house is probably like from the 70s. About half the stuff in my house probably came from auctions. It was donate it to Goodwill or keep it. Simple as that. You know? I'm not one to see somebody throwing stuff out and be like, I'm not going to say anything. Hell no, man. You throwing something out and it's nice, I'm speaking up. I'm not above that. I don't care how much money you make. If you need an end table and somebody be throwing out an end table, speak up. Why the hell would you buy some IKEA crap when you can get yourself some oak end tables for free for the labor to freaking move the crap into your place? God dang. A lot of people don't speak up. They think it's beneath them to speak up. There's so much crap that gets thrown away nowadays. So much good stuff. So much good stuff just be thrown away. Keyboards. I got 1, 2, 3. I'm sure I got a fourth one around here somewhere. Keyboards. Ain't one of them new. Like, they're either like $2 ones at Goodwill, or they're free. If I'm like at an estate auction and somebody's throwing out, you know how cheap that is? You can probably buy the desk and the whole damn thing for $1, and then you get yourself a keyboard. Hell, Goodwill only sells them for like $5. People buy a new laptop, they buy a new thing, they want a gaming keyboard. There you go. This one's actually pretty crappy, but it works. And when they don't work, guess what I do? Out the window. I mean, out in the trash. Simple as that. No, I don't recycle them. Sorry. But it's one of those deals. How much is a new keyboard? $50? $60? For a good one? You can buy the same damn, maybe let's just say $30 for a cheapo. Okay. Same keyboard. $5, $10. That's how you make your money. That's how you make your money. You're not hearing me. That's how you make money. By not spending it. By buying things that are better than what you can buy new. Man, my dishwasher. My God. I don't want to jinx myself. The dishwasher I got upstairs. It is a plug into the sink dishwasher. Alright, you screw the thingy into the sink. The reason is because we were using it in a trailer. I think it's probably 15, 20 years old. And that's when we got it. It's probably older than that. It's probably from like 1995. How old is that? That's pretty damn old. 30 years old. Dishwasher. Works like a champ. Very few moving parts. Got one pump. Pump does very little actual work. It's a simple design. I'm not going out and spending $1,000 on a dishwasher. You know what? If I could find another one, when I find another one, I got my eye out. When I find another one, I'm buying it. I'm probably spending $50, not $1,000. And it's probably going to be another sink unit. Heck, my folks, they got a dishwasher. Had a dent in the front. They saved like $400 or $500 from a dent. You know what they did? They took a magnetic little magnetic thing. I don't know if they got it off Amazon or whatever. Slapped it on the front of that thing. Hit the dent. Boom. Done. Now it's custom. Now it's custom. And they saved a couple $100. And it was damn near new because it came out of an office. That too. Offices throw out all kinds of things. All kinds. You want furniture? Find an office that's going out of business. An office, a warehouse, a store. They have furniture. You don't have to buy furniture new. Everybody thinks, oh, I'm starting a business. I got to go out and get a brand new. This chair's old. This is a free chair. It squeaks. It squeaks. I don't care. It's comfy. You know? I think it goes up and down and side to side and it does this swivel dealies. You know? I think it might even be leather because it's from like the 80s. I don't care. It's like $5. I'll wear the hell out of it until something breaks, probably a wheel. Then I'll throw it away. And I'll probably get another one. Actually, I got another one right there. You can kind of see it poking over here. And that was pretty nasty too. But that was the one before this one. I'll probably wait until this one breaks and I'll use that one for a while until I find another one. Then I'll throw that one away. That's why it's still there. But there you guys go. So many people are living above their means because they're doing it wrong. They think they need the thing in the box. Now, there are times when it's smart to buy the thing in the box. Televisions. Buy the thing in the box. Because it's probably $100 to $300. It's probably going to last you 5 years. If you're smart, you use it as a monitor only. So it's never connected to the internet. It's just get one with an HMDI port. Which anything made in the last 10 years should have an HMDI port or several HMDI ports. Don't hook up your Roku. Don't hook up your whatever. You don't need it. And then you're not tracked or whatever the hell you want to say. But then it's just a monitor for like $200. That's like, I don't know, let's just say 50 inches, 50 inches for like $200 or $300 for a computer monitor. That's a win. 1080 or actually I think it's 4K. This one's 4K. But whatever, you know, that's a buy it new. All right. Some electronics are buy it new. Kitchen appliances, no. No. I don't need my coffee maker being smart. Smart appliances. Oh my God. Smart appliances. You don't need them. End. Period. You don't need them. Smart appliances, you don't need your refrigerator to be smart. You want to buy a refrigerator, buy one that's like 10 or 15 years old. Make sure it's still cold. You probably first measure. You don't want to be 2 inches too big kind of deal. You know. You don't want to slide it into position and then find out, oh, shoot, you know, a little bit too tall, a little bit too wide, whatever. To bring out the tape measure. But, same deal. All these estate auctions. Nobody wants to take a refrigerator. Nobody wants to take a refrigerator. And it's like $20 for a refrigerator. It's probably going to last you 10 years. Call a friend who has a pickup. Bring it over to your house. Be smart about how you move it. There's a proper way to move them too. Get it in the house. Plug it in. It probably works. Probably lasts you 10 years. Versus spending, I don't know, man, $2,000 on a refrigerator, and it'll probably go bad or give you some kind of stupid error message because the filter doesn't work anymore. This thing don't have our ice filters. It has 2 doors. Or it has 1 door. Either way, 2 doors. And you got freezer up here, and you got refrigerator down there, and you're good. 10 years, 15 years, you're good. You have to spend no $1,000 or whatever. I kind of envy renters. Renters, a refrigerator breaks, it can be like, yo, my lease is almost up. Can you fix my refrigerator? Something like that. Or can you switch me over to another unit? Kind of deal. I'll give you options. No. Because those guys, but everybody be doing this wrong. Everybody be doing it wrong. There's things that you have to buy new. Have to buy new. All right? There's things that make sense to buy new versus buying used. All right? Those reusable, what are they? The reusable, what the hell, curio cups or whatever the hell they're called. I think that's nasty, that's me. But I don't reuse the reusable cups. It's not worth my time to clean them. I mean, give me a soda bottle, especially if it's glass. If it's a glass soda bottle, you know how easy it is to clean that? Put it in the dishwasher, let it go, probably do 5 or 10 of them. You're good for a week. Never have to reuse the second one. That one whatever bottle, man, it's never going to be clean. I can make that glass like hot as heck where you can't even touch it. Unless you want to leave a fingerprint. Lose some skin. That glass can get hot as heck. Or you just do a little bottle and you throw the bottle away. Kind of deal. It's clean. I don't know what country that came from, but it's clean enough. Kind of deal. But there you guys go. Aluminum cans. Oh my God. We need more aluminum cans. I'm sorry. More things need to come in cans. Everybody's all up in arms about, well, it's so for the environment. Dude, aluminum cans, glass bottles, way to go. I'm going off on a tangent, but whatever. But that's the point. Everybody thinks they gotta buy all this new crap. You want to buy Christmas stuff? Do it in January. Halloween stuff? Do it in November. Christmas stuff sells year round. Year round. People know. Obviously, there's a peak. Thanksgiving stuff. Actually, Thanksgiving stuff's probably closer to January or February before the Thanksgiving stuff comes down. That stuff hangs. But, there you guys go. A lot of Thanksgiving stuff, they take it off the shelf. They will wait till next year. Put it on the shelf for damn near the same price. They don't care if it's 2 or 3 years old, and you shouldn't care either. So many people think that they have to do these things just because they see people doing them. These dang mini trays or sampler or whatever. Man, that stuff drives me nuts. I understand having party guests. I understand having party favors for guests. You know what? Get creative with the boxes. You don't have to have 30 damn things of trays. You don't have to waste everything. So many people doing this stuff wrong. And they know they're doing it wrong. And even worse, they're going into debt to do it wrong. People will go out and buy a car that's hopefully 2 years old, so they're at least not getting totally screwed. 2 years old. They'll go out and buy a car that's 2 years old. And then they'll keep it for 3 years. Then they'll go out and get another car that's 2 years old. And they'll keep it for 3 years. And they'll go out and buy another car that's 2 years old. And guess what? Now they could have bought a whole car. Period. Because now they're so upside down in this stuff. And people are just starting to realize this now, but it's not a new thing. People being upside down in their loans that would lease every some odd years, or not lease, but they would buy when they should have been leasing. If you're going to play that game, first, figure out a way to make a business out of it, so that at least you're getting some kind of deduction. You know? Second, make sure it's something that you actually need to have. If it's, me, myself, and I, living in an apartment, working a desk job, I probably don't need an F-350. Especially if I have a garage or a parking spot or a lean-to or whatever the whole apartment decides to give you, that it don't even fit in that spot. Because it's probably like an 8-foot bed with a crew cab. And it's probably like 24 feet long. Something stupid like that. Good luck. If you're running a job site, that's great. You got to transport your people. You need the 8-foot bed for this and that. There's a reason that truck is made. It's not meant to go back and forth to work for an office worker. And I get it. You want to tow all your stuff too and all that kind of deal. Rent something. Sorry, folks. Rent something. You need a pickup. People do it smart people do it every damn day. They ever see the Home Depot truck? The Home Depot's like $20. Maybe it's $25 now. I don't even know. To rent the truck for the afternoon. Or the day. I don't know. Afternoon or day. I don't know. Like I'm saying, I haven't done it in a while. But it's cheap as hell. A lot cheaper than paying for insurance on that truck. The first time you got to pay insurance payment on that truck, it's probably going to be worth that Home Depot rental. The amount of time, the 4 or 5 times a year you're going to use the damn truck till you actually go to Home Depot, you could have used the Home Depot rental truck and got a thing of drywall, and it's built for it. Or used a U-Haul to move, and it's built for it. Maybe you did a combination of the both, You needed a whole bunch of installations, so you used the thing. Or maybe you even paid to have stuff delivered. People don't even think about that option. No, they think, I need a pickup because eventually at some point in time, I'm going to have to buy some lumber to do some trim on my house. That's why they have the pickup truck. And then, like I'm saying, too, they will go out and buy something so far above their means. They'll spend $80,000 on a pickup truck at 15% interest over something stupid like 7 years. So they probably have something like, let's say, $800 being generous. Truck payment, and then let's go with, let's say $500. Nice round $500. So now we're up to 11. Then you got fuel. So let's say it cost them, instead of the car that they had, now they're paying, let's be real generous, saying let's say 200, because they are gas hogs. Let's say 200. All right. And let's throw a little bit of maintenance in there, because maintenance is going to be even more expensive. Let's say $1,500 a month versus that car that you could have had, that you should have bought, which could have been 4, maybe 5. Let's go with 5. So let's go with 15 versus 5. $1,000 a month, $12,000 you could have saved or not spent. what can you do with 12 grand? Or what could have you done with 12 grand? I bet you could have rented a Home Depot truck. People get it backwards. They get it so backwards nowadays. They think making 40 grand a year, that's it. Single income, 40 grand a year. Maybe they have a kid. Throw a kid in there. $40 grand a year, living by themselves in an apartment, let's say $1,200. Groceries and the other crap, $300. Car payment of $600. Insurance are probably $300. Obviously, they got to get fast food and everything else. Let's say another $300. It's not hard, folks. Before you know it, they're running on credit cards. And everybody thinks this is how they're supposed to live. When in fact, get a roommate, run the cheaper car, run the cheaper thing, and you can probably be at that 60%. Now, if you already screwed up, like a lot of people already have, you're behind the ball, and you got to be playing catch up, and it's probably going to take you several years to play catch up, but you got to play catch up, and maybe you got to live even less than what you should be living at. Maybe instead of 60, you got to be living at like 50. Now we're all like, oh, damn, I can't do that. You probably can't. If you look at what you make, let's say, let's go with $2,000. Let's go with $2,000 a month. Let's go with $2,000 a month. Then your rent is $1,000 a month. I'm gonna make that real easy. That's 50 right off the bat. It wouldn't be real hard to hit 60 at all. Now, if you get a roommate, now it's 5. Now how realistic is that 60%? Maybe a little bit better. Maybe now you can start paying off that other debt. Maybe you can avoid that credit card at 20-something%. People don't think like this. They don't look at the long term. They look at the short term. They see the shiny sports car, or they see the F-350 and think, you know what? My stuff's long. You know, I don't want it hitting the floor pan. I don't want it hitting the. Carpet. Nah, I'm gonna get me a big old truck, kind of deal. Whatever. All right. I got a boat. I need a pickup. You don't need the boat or the pickup. You got $250,000 in student loans. You got another You got another $70,000 in credit card debt. Get rid of the boat. Get rid of the truck. Get yourself a Honda. Something like that, you know? People don't look at this. People don't think about this. Got so many things getting repossessed right now because people are learning the lesson. And a lot of them are just going out and making the same damn mistakes. I've given you a pass. We're taking the car. Here's the pass. You're probably going to owe us $3,000. All said and done, that's what you're going to end up owing us, $3,000. But we're taking the car. You're going to owe us $3,000. Life experience. Move on. Guess what they're going to do? They're going to go down to the other dealership. They're going to go from the Dodge dealership, shoot over to the Ford dealership. And the Ford dealership don't know what y'all did. The stuff hasn't probably even processed through yet. And yeah. Why don't you have a trade? All that kind of stuff. Play around. Do the math. Write it down. Write this stuff down. All right? When you write it down, write your monthly expenses down, and you'll realize how much you're spending and how much you're wasting in money. Just throwing out the window. You got crazy debt, crazy high interest debt, crazy expenses, no emergency fund, and there's a pretty good chance you're probably going to be fired from your job in the next month or two. What's your plan? Get out the paper. Write down your bills. If you're with a partner or whatever, maybe you have a sit-down conversation. If somebody's spending more than they should spend, maybe you cap that card. And I know we just had Valentine's Day, and here's another downside to all this fun little debt stuff. I call March breakup month, because usually it's all nice in February, so everybody's happy. You got a couple bank holidays and all this kind of stuff. Then about the end of February, everybody starts figuring out maybe they shouldn't have spent $700 on that ring that the partner didn't really know how much they spent on that ring or necklace or whatever. And but they find out when the rent bounces, kind of deal. And that leads to a couple arguments. Not doing this whole money thing can screw you up. Really. And I know I'm a hypocrite. I live by myself. If you don't count the people on the walls. No. But there you guys go. You know? Figure out what you got to do and do it. I'm not going to look at you in a bad way. If you got to live in a car for 6 months, if you by yourself, don't be doing that with kids. I'm sorry. Scrooge McDuck. DuckTales. Huey, Dewey, and Louie. Stay with Uncle Scrooge. You know why? Donald was in the service. You know what? Donald got out of the service. They still stayed with Scrooge. We didn't talk about that much. They stayed with Scrooge for years. All kinds. And you look at the old Scrooge McDuck cartoons. Oh my, that guy be doing some money stuff. He be telling you how to do this stuff right. But like, you got to be smart about this stuff. Because a lot of people are not. And the people that are smart about it will be in the ones that'll be doing the ones a favor. Want to buy a charger? There's plenty of them on the lot right now. You could probably save yourself 15, 20 grand. You want to buy a charger. Or if you wanted to buy a charger. You know? Bank's getting screwed. Owner's getting screwed. You're in a good spot. Because you're the one making money on it. Or you're the one saving 20 grand. I don't condone buying a charger or anything like that. But if you're going to buy one anyway, there you go. Because you're in the position to do that. Because you made the right choices. You didn't buy the 20% credit card. You didn't do this and do that and do that. And I know stuff happens, okay? I know life happens and stuff happens and everything happens. And maybe you had to do whatever you had to do. Okay. Maybe you had to do that for a little bit. I understand. I've been there. I've had a couple grand in credit card debt because I had an issue come up and it was like, well, do I risk overdrawing this or do I play around with this, or do I pull funds from here when I really don't want to pull funds from here? Or do I get a credit card? I got a credit card. But I'm not a fan of it. And I, believe it or not, as soon as I could, I paid that damn thing right back. I got rid of it. I'm a big fan of that. I don't care if it's $100 a week. Pay that SOB back. If it's a $50 minimum, double the minimum. Make it work. You need an emergency fund. You need to pay back that debt. And you need to stop spending money way below more than your needs. So many people be doing this. So much higher than what they live in, so higher. And they living off debt. Not good debt. Not under 10%. You get yourself a mortgage under 10%, that's probably good debt. Alright? You get your car note that's 20%, probably not good debt. That's depreciating too. I'm not saying houses are great right now, but kind of you're screwed if you do, you're screwed if you don't. It's a life thing. If you don't plan on being there forever and ever, maybe you don't buy a house. Simple as that. If you do plan on being there forever and ever, buy the house. Simple as that. People are like, well, interest rates are gonna, who the hell cares? I don't care if it's 7%. You know what? It's probably gonna jump to 12 within 5 years. I wouldn't be surprised. Let's say 2030, 12%. Everybody stops BSing around the bush. 12%. Hell, I expected 9% by 2025. It's probably there. They just don't want to admit it. They playing a lot of games to keep it low. But it's probably where it should be at 9% right now. And I think about 2030-ish should be at 12%. If all things were done right. They're not, but if they were, probably should be at 12%. So when you're looking at 6.5%, 7%, oh well, you missed the bus, but you know what? You can still get on the bus. You can still catch the next stop if you want to play that game. If you don't, you want to live in that tiny house or whatever, go for it, baby. Go for it. Make it work for you. Hell, I was trying to build a container house. I was trying to drop 4 containers. I was trying to live in an airport hangar. I was trying to live in an auto body shop. Straight up, I was talking with the city, being like, yo, what would it take to switch the zoning on this? You know, I want to make like a little loft. I want to switch it from commercial to commercial plus residential. The laundromat in the bottom and then the living area up top. Bob's Burgers kind of deal. I wanted that. And it just didn't go through. But I was real close to living in a body shop with a loft upstairs that would be fully enclosed. And the bathroom and all that kind of stuff, you know. Bathroom, shower. But like maybe 1,000 square feet. Basically a loft with cars below me. Everybody's like, you'd suffocate me. Well, yeah, if you just, you know, if you had the cars running, kind of deal. You treat it like a garage, and you just new fresh air in, fresh air out, kind of deal, just like a house, an older house, but still a house. And yeah, there you guys go. But I was real close to having that happen. And then I fell into this deal, and so I'm in this house, and this has everything that I ever wanted. But it was the whole part of that was a business, and part of that was this. It wasn't me going out and being like, I can afford this. Or I was told I could afford this, so I'm going to go out and grab everything I possibly can. I was looking for places that were half of what I paid for this one. That's how cheap I am. I was looking at literally houses where you open up the door from like 1920s and the door would like half open because the floor was so warped because I didn't care. Electricals from like 1920s. Barns, but it had like a new barn. But it had like a brand new 30 by 40 barn. The house might fall in by itself, but I'd be honest with you, I probably wouldn't live in the house. I'd probably put a trailer out back and, or not a trailer, an RV out back and live in the RV kind of deal. Because I got the big barn that I wanted. I got the $40,000 barn plus a house plus land for $70,000. They were out there. I was looking at them. And if you can get past opening the door on the house and the house having old electrical and all that stuff and planning on basically taking a bulldozer to the house at some point, oh well. You know, maybe you gotta live out of the mobile home for 5 or 10 years while you save up. Then you can drop 70 or 80 grand on basically a mobile home. Basically to have a mobile home dropped in the location and you live out of the mobile home and everything's paid for. Probably 20 years. I looked at those. I looked at a lot of those. My poor realtor, I probably looked at 15 or 20 homes. This one just happened to have everything. It hit location. It hit everything. It hit all the marks. The only thing it didn't have is a steel roof. So I'm probably gonna drop like 50 or 70 grand on putting steel roofs on everything. But other than that, check, right down the list. Every single thing I could have possibly. I couldn't build this thing. I couldn't build this thing how I did it. But it was one of those deals where I am a cheap mofo. And I know how to live below my means. And I also know that when a deal comes up that you need to jump on, you jump on it. Because if you don't, it's going to be gone. And you'll probably never find that one. I bought all these damn motorcycles. I went there for saddlebags. That's it. I was like, guys got some saddlebags. I'm going to buy these saddlebags. Had a couple $100 in my pocket. I came back with motorcycles. And I'm still burning them out. And that, like, I spent like $2,700. And I'm probably going to make $5-7 grand in there somewhere. When it's all said and done in several years, I'll probably make $5 to $7 grand. But it was one of those deals. You just jump because you have it. But if you're several $1,000s in debt, or if you can't buy this stuff, or if you have to move this stuff, you're screwed. I've been on the other end of that. I've been on the other end of that, where I buy a new car, new to me. I buy a new to me car because the transmission went out on that one. And I don't have anywhere to part it out. So guess what I do? That car goes for like $300 because I need it gone now. Because I got one parking spot. I got one parking spot and 3 cars. You know, one of those deals. And it's like, do I put the thing in storage and pay, let's say, $300 a month? Or out it goes. And I've lost several of those because I just didn't have the room. Which is why I'm here and now I have the room. But it's one of those deals where it was, you do that so many times and you start learning. I need to figure something out, you know? And people just keep doing this stuff. And then, like I'm saying, I see it all the time. The car won't start. I bought several S10s. The S10s had a little thing. The 4-bangers and some of all the S10s, come to think of it, all the S10s from like the throttle body S10s from like, let's go with 87 to 93 ish. Lot of them around 90 would do this. They had a little sensor, and it was a EGR solenoid. EGR solenoid. The foam would go out, and it would suck the foam into the thing, and then it would be bad. And the thing would not throw a code for it. It would throw a code for a misfire. It would throw a code for that going bad. This was also the age when they had a lot of the plastic vacuum lines, so you wouldn't be able to get a good signal off of it. And what it would do was it would cause a almost stalling. You'd hit the gas and it would bog down, and it would like chug, and it wouldn't want to go at all because this thing was pretty much telling the computer the exhaust valve is closed, or the emissions valve is closed on the back, the little round one. It's closed or clogged. It's telling it that it's clogged. Because it's clogged, you need to kick the power down because it's clogged. And it's going to cause backfiring and all kinds of stuff. And it would just turn the thing into a total piece of crap. And I have seriously, it's like 2 screws, maybe 3 screws to remove it. And you don't even have to remove it to put a new one in. You can just unplug it and plug the vacuum line in and pretty much put a new one right there. I went a mile down the road and went, and drives like a dang new truck. Then you don't want to be a total bee about it, so you plug the stuff back in. Then you buy the truck for like $600 or $800 less than what you should be buying it for if it had the right thing. And I'm not scamming anybody. I'll tell them what's wrong with it. And a lot of times, if you tell them what's wrong with it, it's this thing right here. And I'm going to give you $700 for this truck because it's this thing right there. And they're probably asking $1,000, so I'm not going too much lower. And I would tell them what it is. I'm not going to show them what it is. But I would tell them what it is. And that's this thing right here. It's like a $40 part. And I would pretty much tell them that a lot of times I would know after like 5 or 6 of these things, I would know what was wrong with it. And people would just throw away the trucks. And I got good at finding that problem and buying these trucks. And I've had about 15 or 20 S10s, and I've had about 12 or 15 GMT 400s. Had a couple 800s too, but 400s with the TBI. Mainly because of that reason. Because that sensor would go out. Oh, and the dealerships were a pain in the butt too back in the day. Before everybody knew about this. The dealerships, it would take them like 2 or 3 weeks to get this part. But GM, genuine, yada yada. It would take them like 2 weeks to get this damn part. It either had a little sensor, or a little foam thing about the size of a quarter. Then the little plastic thing would fall off, and then that would go to crap. Or it had a little thing about a square, about half an inch. Half an inch by half an inch by probably an inch. And that thing would either fall off or go to heck too. All you had to do was get it wet. All you had to do was get it. They did a horrible job protecting it. So if some kid decided, I'm going to make my engine bay look nice, and hit that thing with a power washer, give it about a week after that, and the truck be running like crap. Because they blew off the foam thing, or pushed the foam thing, or just totally screwed up the sensor some other way. Or they blew off a vacuum line. Can't tell you how many of those plastic crappy vacuum lines that GM did on those TBI trucks. I went through and replaced them with copper line. You never had a problem with them again. But I'm getting off track. And this is way too long. I'm sorry for the length. So many people live beyond their means. So many people give up good things. So many people throw away good things. Oh my God. That are just... I understand. If you got to move something, you got to move something. You got to have it gone right now. Okay, I understand that, like I told you with the cars. On the other hand, if you have an oak desk, take a couple pictures of it, throw it on Marketplace. Maybe somebody offers you $80 for it. Maybe they offer you $60 for it. Take it. If you're just going to throw it away anyway, take that. You're done. It's gone. You made $60. There you go. You don't have to tear it apart to move it out into the whatever. Or put a free sign on it. Leave it out there for a day or two. If somebody will grab it for if it's oak, not some junk like this. There you guys go. And so many people would just not think. You could have made $60 off that thing. Instead, you just threw it away. You want to see some free stuff? Wait till the end of the month in an apartment complex. Just maybe it's like if it falls on like a weekend, just sit out there. I'm gonna guess between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. You're gonna see people bringing stuff out. You're gonna see people moving. If they're nice with the stuff, there's probably some nice stuff that's about to go in that dumpster. I'm not above that at all. I can tell you right now, a nice desk, give it up. I'll take it. I'll put my truck right there. You know, I'll offer the guy like $10. He's going in the dumpster. I'm going to offer him like $10 to put it in the back of my truck. I can get something out by myself, but putting it in might be a bit of a headache. You know, I'll see you bring this thing out to the dumpster. I'm going to be like, you know what? Hey, bro, let me throw it in the back of my truck. I'll give you $10, buy you some lunch. There you go. Just slide it, He's already drug it down the stairs. He's already done the hard part. He's about to leave out by the dumpster. And a lot of those trash people, they ain't happy with the stuff sitting outside the dumpster. So, yeah, you're doing everybody. You're doing like 2 or 3 people a favor at this point. And you're doing yourself a favor. So now you get the thing back at your place. And now you just saved. Let's say you got an oak desk. Now you just saved probably $200 for that $10 desk. Maybe an hour or 2 of your time just playing on your phone. There you go. If you don't spend the money, you don't have to work as hard to make the money. If you're living above your means, you're spending the money. And a lot of people are doing it in stupid ways. Like painfully stupid ways. And you see this at the damn stores. Oh my God. You see this. You see this in like the Thanksgiving sales and all this stuff. Just people buying just crap for the sake of buying it. You probably have 6 damn TVs. What do you need a 7th for? Anyway, way too long. You guys have fun. Thank you. Oh, not there.